My table's messy. Creed 3. It's visually stunning. Did I feel emotional in that film? No. No. It was visually stunning, and it just didn't flow in a way that was very satisfying to watch. So I'm gonna split up this video. I'm gonna talk about the story first, and then I want to talk about the action. So to begin, it was a joy. It was a joy to watch ASL on the big screen. The subtitles, the charm. At first, I was a little disappointed with the casting of their kid because she didn't really look like them, but that kid has charisma. I get what you got that part. The child charisma shines through, and you gotta love her. I enjoyed her fighting in school arc. Like, should I protect myself, or should I like be emotionally vulnerable? The scenery was stunning. Like, the lifestyle felt believable. Like, we have so many like Hollywood rich type storylines in shows and TVs, but it just doesn't feel believable. This time around, it felt believable because the way it was set out, it felt like they actually lived in that house, and it was gorgeous. Seeing it on the IMAX screen as well, the pool, the cityscape, the background, it was gorgeous. That house. And the tea party where Michael B. Jordan put on the frog outfit to like have tea with his daughter. And then when he goes straight into the home studio, like, to see his wife working, it just did wonders. It did wonders for my vicarious living. I loved that. That it warmed my heart to see this. Tessa Thompson, I forgot her name in the film. Her arc is interesting. A musician losing her hearing, now producing so she can retain what she has left of her voice. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. There's not much to say about it. How could that have been woven into the story? Ooh, I think that we should have had more scenes with Damien and Tessa Thompson, because we have this common theme of watching somebody else live your dream, if you can say that, because she's writing her music for other artists so she can preserve her vessel, and he was locked away while the guy who was under him rose to the top. So I think that we could have gotten more scenes with Damien and Tessa, but it was a bit awkward, and I understand why they wouldn't have, and I'm gonna get into that, because as much as I enjoyed seeing Michael B. Jordan kiss up on Tessa Thompson, it's just the relationship gives were together for their kids. He doesn't tell her shit. If they were written closer, we could have got a more interesting dialogue. Like, it could have went deeper. Certain parts of the film, it called for more emotional depth. His mom passes away, and we got, oh, but I write songs for other people and I'm not happy and it's not easy for me. Like, we could have gone further with that. Even with the scene on his mom on her deathbed, I was like, why is she glowing? Like, why does she look good? Like, it just wasn't believable as a stroke. It was, I think it was too dollhouse, like, if that makes sense, at certain points. Because even the funeral scene, it felt very generic. Some scenes were just very, very cookie cutter movie scene. Like, it didn't grip you. It does well for a Hollywood film, but it's not captivating. I wrote that this takes dialogue, not just the tears of the actor, to sell that to an audience. Yeah, very that. The writing could have been better. I think there was a lack of, I know this is an easy point, this is an easy jab, but I do think there's a lack of chemistry between Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson. I don't know if that's intentional, but I really wish they would have written them closer, because she was with him. I want the type of romance in a trilogy that if I go back to the first movie, my heart is like, because I know what it flourishes into. Like, if you were a twihard, going back to watch when Edward and Bella meet again and just getting like, because you know what it flourishes into. With this, like, if I was to go watch the first film again, is like it's giving high school sweethearts. Like it's a relationship, it's fine, but it could have been more. It could have been more, especially because you know how much Rocky feels for Adrian. The love could have been pushed further. It should have been pushed further, because even there's just little things I was noticing, like when they're getting out of the car, Michael B. Jordan will help his kid out of the car and then she'll just kind of like trail behind, or a lot of the dialogue they're having is over the kid. Their relationship is like they're staying together just for the kid. There's not, you don't feel the pull between the two actors. And I just wish there was, because they were together when they were in Philly in busted apartments. Like, seeing the way their lifestyle flourished, I would have wanted to see their romance flourish as well. Okay, the backstory. Let's get into Dame. The backstory and tidbits, I did find the reveal underwhelming. Dame just came from a fighting Gwyn. Like, you just came, your ego's all like charged because you were throwing hands and you're pulling a gun on two guys. It just didn't really make sense. It's a brightly lit gas station. It didn't make sense. Even the speed at which the cops showed up as well. Like, are cops this active at gas station? If he got 18 years for pulling a gun at a gas station, that is horrific, right? I have a lot of issues with the Dame being in prison storyline. It just was very lumpy. Like, there's just it wasn't smooth. It didn't. Let me unpack that, because first of all, what he got done for, I personally I would have had him go down for some weed charges, because that would have got the he got done dirty, like arising in me, because people shouldn't get arrested for weed. But if he did 18 years for that, some states, they be harsh. So it's like that would have stirred up some more like emotional attachment to the character, because just like, oh, pulling a gun but I can fight, it's just like, we have grit in Hollywood. There has been grit. Like, if you're gonna go with this storyline, give us depth. We've seen inside prisons on how many shows now. Like, we need more depth if you're gonna use this as an arc, especially in like the Rocky franchise. Like, we could have gone further, because it's like, you were in prison for 18 years. Show me, why didn't I get one prison training scene? Where was he getting all the protein from? He was a big boy. Like, the one tidbit we got of him in prison was just that little photo used as a plot device to say that his buddy is the one that took Drago out so he could fight the world champion. I have stuff to say about the world champion, but we're gonna get there. It just, we could have gone taken harder. Like, prisons, Lady Gaga Paparazzi has more prison action than, and I'm not talking in the South, I'm talking just people lifting weights. It has more prison action than Creed 3, where the main antagonist has been incarcerated for 18 years. 18 years, 2 decades, damn near my whole life. And we didn't get one scene. Like, even if you're not gonna show me the grit, if then you're not gonna give me no training scenes, because let's be real, we are how many movies down the franchise? We're a bit tired of the training scenes. We're a bit tired. Like, this was a perfect opportunity to switch the scenery, because the desert training scene in Creed 2, that was good, because they switched up the scenery, they switched up the aura. I felt like this time around it was a bit generic. We'll talk about that. But they had the perfect opportunity to show us some shit. Show us how people actually keep like built in prison. They could have showed us. They didn't. You got all this money. I didn't like the story. I didn't like that, especially because the reason why he got arrested was very much linked to Michael B. Jordan. There could have been more betrayal there. Like, there could have been more bitterness there. Like, being on track for such a bright future, having that taken away for you, being locked up for 2 decades, there should have been more bitterness. I loved the actor that played Damien. I felt like he has such strong camera presence, but he kind of had this like I'm over it type energy about him, and it's like, where is the bitterness, where is the heartache, where is the betrayal? Because they treat people like animals in prison. Like, he could have brought more grit to the role, but it's like, how can he, when they didn't really develop it enough? I don't think they developed it enough. I feel like we needed to see some shit. We needed to see inside of his life a bit more for him to be a believable antagonist, because the first time that he claimed the belt, it just felt so wrong for the movie. And I get that that's what they're going for, but it was deeper than the story. It just felt off as a viewer. I read the pain and the anguish of being locked up, watching your dreams play out could have been taken further. I just want to say, IMAX screen, the first fight was the best. Seeing the way the body rippled on impact of the punches, the sound of the punches, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, because one of the reasons why I don't watch boxing is because it's so cluttered when it's filmed. It's very much cluttered. It's not like wrestling where you get the angles, but these angles, the lighting, the way the light shifted, that was noticeable as well. It was good. The eye mapping, when they go to the corners of the ring and you can see that Michael B. Jordan is looking at, like, where he's looking and where they're looking, the intensity of their eyes. Because I feel like one thing that, like, traditional boxing doesn't capture is that the intensity that the athletes feel when they're in the ring. And I think the movie did this very well, although I feel like it trailed off towards the end, but we'll get there. I wrote the beads of sweat. I saw every bead of sweat. I loved it. I loved it. It was nice, especially in the age of like filters and surgery and smoothing. It was nice to just see some real skin. It was nice to see some real skin. It was nice to see the detail, like just the beauty of the human form, the beauty of the male human form. It was lovely to see on the big screen. So I give the movie props for that. The movie gets props for that. Okay, with the second fight, the opening with the mask was mesmerizing. It was mesmerizing. However, it is 2023, and I don't know if I want to keep giving movies points for representation, giving movies props for representation. I'm happy that it's here, but it's like, I want it to be normal. I think that was the best entrance for the entire movie. I get what they were trying to do with the fight. Like, Damien was trying to find weaknesses to play dirty. I know that they were trying to contrast it with like, oh, Apollo gave Rocky a chance, but it just wasn't believable. It wasn't believable. I think that they needed to make the depths that Michael B. Jordan Adonis owed to Damien a lot higher in order to make that believable. Because like getting a world champion shot, it wasn't believable, and I guess that's the point. But I think the pacing of the movie as well, it was a bit off, because they really brought up this world champion guy. Like, no one wants to spar with him. We have no bodies. Like, he's an animal. Like, they really built him up to be like this, like, not to be fucked with figure. And in the ring, he was just pouring blood. Like, the fake blood was cartoonish. They needed to turn that all the way down. Damien was trying to find like weaknesses to like fight dirty, like get his arms here, get his arms there, but it came across as a bit overly predatory, especially with the slowing down of the cameras. It didn't make Damien look big. It made the world champion seem small, because he's not that well developed. Let's be real, Damien isn't well developed as a character. Like, they've left the flashback as a mystery for like a really dull reveal. It was a dull reveal. So I think they made him too overpowered when he was fighting the world champion. They should have made it a bit more even. Like, he should have had to work a bit more, in my opinion. It was just a bit too much. It was way too much. The fake blood, he looked like he had been stabbed. It was too much. Also, Tessa Thompson was like, oh, I've got to take the daughter away from the match. But it's like, it's boxing. At what point do we draw the line? Was it the blood? Was it him breaking the rules? It's a weird line to draw. The antagonist was way too overpowered when you compare this to the final fight. And then under that, I wrote brotherly respect. Like, is it because of the history that he didn't fight dirty with Adonis, because even when Adonis goes to the beach in a suit, in his tight ass suit, to go confront him. First of all, you just came out of prison. Where'd you get all these friends from? I mean, I know people be having friends, but it just, the magnitude of it, him being world champion, it wasn't believable. It was the commentators compare it to a fairy tale, and the writing was very much giving fairy tale. Him going to the beach because he finds the photo from the old letters. Also, the mum hiding the letters was tacky as well. Personally, I think that we should have just left Adonis's mum as like a calm side character for the family until the next movie, if they're making the next movie, because having to deal with her death in the movie, it was very rushed. It made me cry, and I'm a crier when I watch death scenes, and this one did not get me. Like, when she was getting delirious and like speaking to his father, I get what they were trying to do, but it said hello, but it didn't really invite me in, you know. Adonis going to the beach, and he's like, I'ma punch you in the face. Now my eye is bleeding. Too much fake blood. And it's like, Michael B. Jordan also wasn't very believable as a, what do I call it? A promoter, presenter, business guy. I felt like he was trying to play too many characters at once. Like, you're the good dad, and you're the husband, and you're the presenter, and you're the deal maker, and you're also the boxer, and you're also challenging him, and you're also strong. And it was too much at once. And I have an issue with the way he's powered as well, because it was gripping in the first movie, but this whole, he gets battered and battered and battered and battered, and now he's down. Show them who you are. And then he just like gets up, like, or what did they say in the first movie, like a guy possessed. That was powerful. But like, it's too much now. Like, just seeing him getting battered and then out of nowhere he just has the spirit of winner, it's not believable, especially in the training scene. Drug is hot. Anyway, seeing him get all bloodied with his like cute brown little head guard on with Draga, and be like, he just takes 2 minutes of reflection. That's all it takes on Michael B. Jordan to fucking it comes from nowhere. It just feels like it comes from nowhere. Like and when he was telling his daughter, like, it's not just about power, it's about timing and focus, I really wish we could have got more like boxing galore. Is that how I want to say it? Like, tactics, techniques. Like, I would have wanted to see him implement something new, something that's gonna give him the edge. You know, in the superhero movie, and there's a new big bad guy, and they have to be like, oh, it's different this time. Like, I would have wanted something, because they go through the effort of telling us all of Michael B. Jordan's weaknesses, only for none of them to be exploited during the fight. I mean, rarely. And I needed new. It wasn't believable seeing him get battered by Drago, and he just takes 2 minutes out and he's good to go. Now he's a winner again. I don't even remember shit. I remember him running up the hill with the car driving, but we've seen that before. And you know, I think the training gave me a bad taste in my mouth, because the second movie, him not being trained by Rocky and him being trained by that guy was part of his downfall. So seeing him like do the first act, second act of Creed 2 as like the final act of Creed 3, when he's supposed to be retired at this point, he's supposed to be like old and shit, it wasn't believable. And considering I watched that movie last night, I remember the family scenes more than I remember the training scenes, and that's not what you want coming out of a boxing film, personally. This is our third time round seeing Michael B. Jordan train. I think what Creed 2 did right was that we had him train in alignment with the opponent that he was going to face, and we didn't really have that this time round. I honestly, visually, this movie, top tier, trumps all of them, But story-wise, I think Creed 2 is the winner. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The stakes were high in that one. Like I felt like the doom of him like getting absolutely annihilated but still being the champion, and like seeing his body like just be shattered. That was some shit that gripped me, that invested me. Anyway, let's keep this moving. Let's talk about the final fight. I'm not the only one that felt the pacing was off. The final fight started like this. You clicked your hands and it went like this. We just went straight into it. It was nice seeing the way he entered. I liked that he was a lot more present. I liked that he was feeding off the energy of the crowd rather than walking straight to the ring. I didn't like the outfits this time around. I mean, the outfits are not important. Dame needed more character development. I'm sorry, but that's a big issue. Anyway, let's get back into the ring. For the final fight, the punches were crisp. I've got to give it to them. The punches were crisp. The way the camera was moving was crisp. When, I think it was about the third round, when they removed everyone from the auditorium and it was just them two in the ring, I loved that. I loved the what do I call that? Silence? It's not silence. Commence. What's the opposite of commence? I don't know, but I loved the just like a bit. It was giving in For Love and Thunder when they go to that place and it goes black and white. Like I loved that. The simplicity really ups the intensity of it. But it took me out of it because they turned the ropes into a cage and it took me out of it. I felt like I was watching PS2 fighting. That took me out of it. It wasn't, I get what they were trying to do, but considering that they did that only to be like, oh, you thought it was round 2? It's actually round 12. Like, you throw me some Street Fighter shit only to tell me that the fight's nearly over. It was unsatisfying. It was unsatisfying. I wish they would have just stuck to the black and white, and I feel like they should have given us more. They could have given us more. They could have given us more of that fight. They should have given us more of that fight. Because you rented out these expensive ass cameras. This movie has budget. I can see this movie has budget. Give us more. Give us more. Like, I'd be happy if they removed the trainer scenes because honestly, they were forgettable. And they gave us a longer fight between Michael B. Jordan and Damien because seeing those fucking punches, hearing the fucking punches, just how far cameras and sound and light has come was a joy to experience. It just was too short-lived. It was too short-lived. I admire the boldness to be like creative with it and be like, oh, when I'm in the ring, it feels like I'm in a cage, so I'm gonna put a cage in the ring in the movie, but it was too much too fast. I think now this movie marked the introduction to like the camera taking you to a new realm of boxing. We should have explored that a little bit more before we went abstract. Is that my cat? I can hear him meowing. What's up? What's up? Are you okay? I'm coming. I'm coming. I forgot what I was saying. My camera cut out. Final thoughts? Should I make a conclusion? I don't know. I hope that video is still there. I would cry if it wasn't. It was cute, but it could have gone further. It scratched the surface. It was beautiful, visually stunning, but it scratched the surface. It's akin to Euphoria, where we have a really cool selection of scenes that look well, but it's just not flowing in a way that's satisfying to the viewer. That's my final thoughts. Should I rate it? No. I had a good time. Even though I spent a lot of this video critiquing it, I did enjoy it. It was nice to be in the cinema again. It was nice to see all of that unfold on the screen. It was nice. It was an experience. Are they making a fourth one? Everyone thinks that his kid is going to take on the mantle in the fourth one, but I think that's just a common theme of like the recent movies that have been coming out. I'm not even hating. I enjoy it. Do I don't know. I feel like too many people are passing on the mantle before they've even really done shit with it. But this was fun. I don't know if I'm gonna do more reviews because I was speaking about this movie on my own volition. Like it was important to me. I really enjoyed the first and the second. I'm not really a movie review channel, but if I'm into another, then perhaps. I got lotion on my face. This is my baby boy. Bye.